everybody. You guys asked for more Call of Duty here in the CCL. We've got it for you right about now. We apologize for the delay. We're in towards SCAD Esports, going head-to-head with Old Dominion Esports. Seeing what's popping here for these two rosters as we get in a Fortress card.
Get it underway. I mean, SCAD, they're starting off on the favorite side, but it's a big ask to hold on to that for a long time, especially as you have Raw. I mean, they're already working their way around the backside. That's not going to give you the immediate spawn flip out. Setsy's still over here just blocking things out. We'll take down Raw inside a top rail. So these are great kills when you're considering the simple fact that there's still 20 seconds to fight for over by P1. And SCAD Esports, they're winning the battle on all fronts.
A great start coming out here, I think, from SCAD Esports at least. I mean, they aren't going to get the vast majority of time off the back of P1, but at the very least, they will be able to get control of those P2 spawns that we were talking about. So now let's see what Oculus can do towards the backline. Looking for some kills here, able to get the 1 versus 1 against Static. Massive 1 versus 1 to win. If you lose that, you might not be in the best position here to hold on towards those back spawns, but still, that annoying player towards the backline, Raw, just trying to distract while the rest of the team and Old Dominion come from the front line, and that is exactly what they do. It's Old Dominion that now will be in.
There's only so much that you can ask the Sly Fox. She's going to get overrun as the rest of the teammates were trying to battle across the cannon side past Seeker. They're trying to get the spawns back in their favor, but it's taking too long. And now this entire play to try to get yourself these close spawns for P2, it doesn't matter anymore. You have 27 seconds that are left over here inside of P2. And Static is already hitting the rotation towards New. He has kill number 6 in the streak right on the other side of the gate. He will find it. That's a cruise missile earn. And now SCAD Esports are starting to reel.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start from Static there. 6 in a row, as you say. That cruise missile could well be a get-out-of-jail-free card later on down the line, but now you're finding yourselves with Raw in a 1 versus 3 situation, and, well, yeah, he does get caught there with his pants down towards the back line. So now SCAD Esports in a really good spot here. Control this P3 hardpoint. We said always this can be a money hill if you control it correctly because of those close spawn choke points on both sides of the hardpoint. Cherrybo and Setsy, they're just watching that right side, and finally overran there as a couple of players from Old Dominion are able to make their way through. Sly Fox now the last one left alive. Can she do anything in this situation? Only able to get 1. So as we said, a money hill here for SCAD Esports. They are actually flipped out by Old Dominion.
30 seconds still left to fight for. I mean, SCAD Esports haven't really generated much time. They got, what, like 20 seconds off of P1, about 10 seconds off of P2, and then maybe like 9 so far over here on P3. Not good. I mean, Static is just having their way. 11-5 so far. This is the annoyance that I was talking about before we went to that break, talking about Fortress Hardpoint. Static is looking like that they are stepping up to the plate to be that nuisance against SCAD Esports. But definitely say something, considering that their mascot are bees. They talk about one of the most annoying insects on the planet. Regardless, ODU, they have the rotation over towards Snoo. SCAD trying to thread it from the cannon side.
Yeah, Static, of course, has had a stellar game so far at 13-5, and now really, again, starting to heat up in and around this munitions building, just trying to be that roaming sub for Old Dominion Esports. Can anybody from SCAD find their way through? Cherrybo just trying to get away around these double door side, but faced down by 2 players by Old Dominion. Going to have to try a different route, and gets caught out again. The sub pressure from Old Dominion has just been absolutely sublime. Again, kills in and around the hard point, and it is Static once more heating up. He got a 6-3 previously, about to overlap the cruise missile, and he's just tactical sprinting his way through the map without care in the world, looking for number 7 on the spree. Will be denied it, overlaps his cruise missile, but does it really matter again, Andy? He does his job. He gets all of those supporting gunfights around the hard.
Oh, hey, it doesn't matter. Not when you're shooting nukes out of your automatic weapon that Static has in their hand. Double positive now, 17-6. SCAD Esports, the bees, really starting to struggle to kind of collect themselves back together. They'll hold the rotation over towards P5. The cruise missile's actually being called in. It's not going to be able to find any kills whatsoever, but it forces all of the bees into very, very annoying situations to where they cannot win gunfights easily. Just as soon as they held the rotation over towards P5, Brody, here's ODU knocking at the door. The Monarchs are in.
Yeah, this is a really good position here for Old Dominion. Once again, retaking the throne in the middle of the map. And now for SCAD Esports, you find yourselves in a really dangerous, desperate position, really. Again, you cannot allow a wealth of time to go the way of Old Dominion in the middle of the map. And it's DJ now, who's now looking for yet another streak. A cruise missile has been accrued a second in the arsenal for Old Dominion. Looking for number 7, and DJ doesn't even look bothered in the middle of the map. Now looking for number 8. Spots out the feet of Cherrybo inside munitions, and now going to reposition for that 1 versus 1. But again, at the end of the day, Andy, this is a wealth of time going the way of Old Dominion on Blacksmith of all the hard points.
Yeah, again, this is a hard point that can continuously be a money hill if you're finding kills through the middle of the map and you're having players that are lurking around the main focus points of the rotations over by open and closed archways that lead to P2, in and around art, inside of maps. ODU can simply do no wrong. Cherry Bow is able to find the only kill in the past 5 for SCAD Esports. In ODU, they got themselves a 130-point lead going in towards the second set.
Yeah, that is a massive advantage, and I think for SCAD Esports here, the backstop of controlling the P1 or P2 rotation is really all they have. And I say have because now I think had would be the more correct term to utilize, as Old Dominion managed to flip the map successfully, and now back to his old ways will be static. Now at 21-7 on the static watch, kill KD. 4 in a row, going to be made weak by a nade there. Nicely done by Spyfox as she runs out towards the middle of the map and will be cut down very quickly by Raw. And it's this mid-map coverage that is just sublime. They had one player pushing through Setsi. He tried to get flip of the map going for SCAD Esports. It just doesn't happen. And Old Dominion, they get basically every single second off the back of P1.
I mean, that almost sounds just as weird to say as saying that there's 7 hardpoints on Mercado. It's just things that you don't really hear all too often. The J is also up top, still has that cruise missile. Lapped it already. He's going to see Oculus just start working their way through open, already weak. Gets cleaned up. It's static and raw. Finding the kills inside the hardpoint. Brody, they're looking to close it here.
Yeah, and they get all the gunfights in their favor. Again, it's Love, it's the J. They're all picking up the gunfights required. Oculus trying to find their way onto the point, but again, going to be shut down. Still, it's going to be a pinstripe kill feed, but the trade's in favor of Old Dominion ultimately, as they now are just 10 seconds shy of victory. In the middle of the map will be DJ. Love throwing themselves out towards the middle too, and well, as they get dethroned, it's going to be Raw now trying to pick up the middle of the map, but it just doesn't matter. Old Dominion gonna win out there as SCAD cannot make it in time. But that has to be one of the most dominant maps of Fortress Hardpoint I've casted this year.
I've seen worse. I have seen worse. I haven't casted it, but I have seen worse.
Really mean. I'm sorry, that sounded really mean. I sometimes forget how British I am.
You are very British. I don't know if anybody can tell if they're watching in Twitch chat or something like that. Like, Brody, he's British. He wants to make sure that everybody knows as well. The Monarchs, though, I mean, they come out absolutely guns a-blazing. It would started off really, really well for SCAD Esports. I mean, remember, they started off with the favorite side of the map. They were able to generate 20 seconds off of P1. They were dictating the pace in the middle of the map, but the same conversation kind of lies with Fortress that we could talk about with Control. One good hit is all ODU needed, and you'll see it here in the replays. It's that singular hit that comes through that allows them to break into the front of P2, and then they simply did not relent from there on out. It was only 26 seconds that SCAD Esports got off of P1 and P2, and ODU just simply were not stopping.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many key moments there. Like, you're thinking maybe SCAD Esports can find their way back into the game. There was one, again, as we got into the second set, where maybe SCAD Esports, if they held control of the P2 rotation. Again, you know, we talk about how kind of can get P1 and P2 back-to-back, but just not able to get the kills. And Old Dominion just in the power positions. I will say, though, I think it's just more than that, to be honest. And we'll talk about it maybe in depth in just a second here as we get towards the stat lines. But there were so many streaks in that game. You know, DJ streaked out, I think, at least twice. Static must have done it 3 or 4 times in the game. But Love and Raw also had their moments. I mean, there were just so many streaks where it was just like SCAD were just getting dominated, to be honest. There was just no other way to say it. They couldn't get on the map. Yeah,
I mean, Cherry Bow, 3-21, I'll at least give you the benefit of the doubt. That was a very hard map.
It's not a wee man.
It's also not Control.
Shut up.
607 damage is just simply not good enough. I mean, Oculus, try as you might, didn't even generate a single second of hardpoint time, but it's just the slaying power. It was just all there. I mean, you have Static and the J. They didn't even go to double-digit deaths. They have a combined 45 kills between the two of them. 21 of the 22 not traded kill for Static. 20 of the 23 not traded for the J. I guess we can call it, it's a Static shock, almost, of what we got from ODU coming through. Yeah, I knew you were going to love that one. But ODU just following up off of what Static was able to manifest through those first 3 hardpoints, and then just following suit.
Things you love to see. Old Dominion Esports looking pretty good at the moment. 250 and 58. What a skill line for map number 1. And that certainly is putting yourself on the map there, isn't it? For the first map in this best of 5. We already talked about that coming into the best of 5, though. We've got a triple hotel affair. It might not be a triple hotel affair for SCAD Esports if they continue to allow that to happen for Old Dominion Esports. But we said it before. You're in this position. You got dominated in map number 1. You have to just take a deep breath here. and have a mental reset for a second, because you've got a hotel search and destroy up next. It's a bit more of a slower pace comparative to the respawns we have here in Call of Duty Sports. Gives you an opportunity to kind of climb back into the series.
Well, we're guaranteed at least 2 nights here at Greenberg Hotel, but we might be able to extend it to a third like you were talking about, Brody. But search and destroy, as far as what it's concerned, you can get away with sniping on this map. There's one really good line of sight in particular. It is bottom luggage that you can stun the doors open and find a pick defensively to really deny any sort of offensive presence to get themselves over towards that bomb site itself. But where a lot of teams do struggle, and I'm sure we're probably going to see a lot of this in the CCL, and hell, even this match in particular, is how you were going to coerce the middle of the map, specifically the atrium, P1 if you will, through couches. That line of sight with an AR in hand is something that you're always going to be on the lookout for when it comes down towards those bomb executes over by lights. The same could be said about those executes all the way through restaurant as well. I've been seeing so many teams, challengers and CDL alike, feeling a lot more adept at putting 2 players to hit through secret, to hit through restaurant, and to get that kitchen bomb site in their favor. It is very hard to upset that post plant.
Yeah, again, you know, we've been talking about it as teams settle more into Modern Warfare 2. I think we're seeing a variety of strategies start to come out to play here, especially on Hotel Search and Destroy. You said it right there, Andy. You know, again, I think the middle of the map pressure over towards Connector is becoming a lot more important for teams on the offensive side. I think teams are settling into hitting B as well. I think A was definitely the more preferable bomb site for a very long period of time, because you know kind of what we need to do is make sure that nobody causes you problems from top bedroom, from couches on the defense. But again, teams getting a lot more confident with those B pushes as they push through restaurant. Isn't seeming to be the case here for SCAD Esports on their first offensive effort, as they're favoring this push towards A. But look at this for the defensive side. Old Dominion already pressure for the middle of the map with Static just sitting there waiting to pounce.
And Raw's job over here is just to make sure that nobody gets through secret, nobody ends up pushing through restaurant, unbeknownst to them. You have Oculus on the other side, maybe trying to threaten that push. Everybody else just waiting for the go, and Setsy's going to make that push happen. We'll find Static and get couches in SCAD's favor.
Things are going pretty well, actually, for SCAD Esports. What was not really a favorable setup has now turned most certainly into one, as Raw falls, as does Static, as you say. Oculus now with that power position. Is it enough to get the bomb down just yet? They're making quite a lot of noise over towards B. It's not going to produce a move just yet. Love sticking. Waiting for somebody to come on the flank. Love is still in a pretty good position here to do something on the defensive side. And with 29 seconds left on the clock, Love might well be able to blow this play wide open, but he's making a ton of noise over towards here, and even repositioning at the wrong time. He's not going to stop this bomb from going down. There you go. Love, though. Can he get any exit frags? Yes, he can. The 1 versus Sly Fox is good.
I was just a mustachio's hair away from getting that elimination before the plant comes through, but you just got to worry about Setsy. You see, this is the dynamic that is playing Search and Destroy. Love has a trophy system. Make a clutch play happen without dead silence. Not exactly easy to do, but he'll shut down Setsy in this 1v3. You have to allocate a lot of time, 7.5 seconds to be able to get the defuse on that bomb. And before he even thinks about trying to cut through the middle of the map, he will be cut down inside a lobby by Oculus.
Yeah, it is that early play, I think, that really does just win out the round for SCAD Esports. It's not quite firmly secured because they didn't quite deal with the player inside bedroom. I think they just got a little bit of fortunate Call of Duty timing that they're able to get the bomb down before that frag does come through. But still, pretty good early round play from SCAD Esports. Secures them the round overall. Now we'll see how they handle things on the defensive side. Old Dominion, we said it. Talked about teams on the offense. They are able to go towards B. That might well be the play here. At least 2 players seem to be garnering a move over towards this bomb site. And now a third will join them. This is definitely a B hit.
Distraction is what DJ's task is, to maybe throw a lot of ordinances, but that player inside a kitchen, that's Oculus. They saw at least 2 players cutting through restaurant, potentially 3, so they back all the way up. But it's a delayed reaction from the other 2 players over by A. You do have Setsy in a position to maybe try to cut things down, and we'll find Raw over by the side door that leads to Wine. So now the offensive endeavors here with Static on board with them and Love behind. Kind of halted up here to make sure that they can feel confident to hit towards B.
I don't think it was quite as indomitable as they would have liked Old Dominion, because they managed to kill a player outside a connector, maybe 1 more player outside a kitchen. It would have been nice enough for a bomb plant, but they're not confident enough to go for it just yet. Instead, they want to take the 1 versus 1 against Cherry Boat, understanding that middle of the map probably not being watched. Cherry Boat, of course, maybe not having the best map number 1. Now a chance for redemption. wants to stop the bomb plant, but Static is planting it, not for Cherrybo at all, and Cherrybo about to get the shock of their life from DJ in from behind. Can Cherrybo win the 1 versus 1? Yes, she can! Massive win there for Cherrybo, and now this is actually a favorable situation for SCAD Esports in a 3 versus 2. They've got the numbers to make this one work, they just need to make sure they time it correctly. Setzi on the flank though, doesn't quite anticipate love in this situation, but it's okay because Oculus and Cherrybo are there to pick up the slack, and that is a massive 1 versus 1 inside bottom bedroom for Cherrybo.
Wait for the dead silence, so at least run out. Again, 7.5 seconds, what you have to allocate. That's what you'll probably end up seeing a lot of. And it's just going to be a fantastic retake coming through for SCAD Esports. Again, where you didn't exactly have the greatest time in Hardpoint, putting it lightly, you can play a little bit more methodical when it comes down to search and destroy, just allowing yourself to play very steadily. I mean, Oculus, in my opinion, it just really made all of that come to fruition. Finding all the information in the world to push over by Restaurant, found at least some help. That was Setzi towards the middle of the map to find First Blood, and it caused so much doubt for ODU that I honestly thought that they were going to send one more player for the Bees out from the bedroom area to maybe try to reinforce the middle of the map over by the BS&D side. They hold the line, and it works out wonderfully.
This has been a pretty good early search and destroy from SCAD Esports, who were talking about a bounce back on the cards for them. This has absolutely been that, but they need to hold steady. Still 4 more search and destroy rounds to go before they can count this one as a victory. And on this offensive effort, once again, they are garnering a push towards A, looking for some kind of information as to where players are on top and bottom bedroom. Over towards Restaurant, though. Oculus sending a player out of the Restaurant. No ordering for you. And now for SCAD Esports, the numbers up in your favor here. Old Dominion, they still have some modicum of map control.
They gave it up, though. And Love just goes all the way back. But the J's still up here, top bedroom. Take down Cherrybo, and she's not going to be able to get that bomb planted. It's a 3v3 we go. Setzi's going to get some help here over by Info. Dead Silence popped by Oculus, but the J is still up there. Someone needs to deal with the J in top bedroom, and then the Chow comes through from couches. It's a 3v4 breakdown.
You've got to know. I mean, this is one of those situations, again, where the knowledge is kind of befallen you. Like, you have to know that somebody is up in bedroom. And if you're going to go for the plant, like, plant for a place where the bedroom can't get you, or at least have the coverage there from a teammate that you are safely going to be able to plant. It all just falls apart from the fact that that plant does not come through. Old Dominion, despite not being in a powerful position whatsoever, still end up with a dub in that round. And that's a bit of an error from SCAD Esports, an unforced one at that. Now on Old Dominion, off the back of a round that they arguably should not have won, feeling pretty good coming in towards this offensive effort. And towards A, they go. It's a fast one for Static at least, as he pushes up towards the help desk. Love now trying to get some early shots in towards top bedroom. None of them going to connect just yet, though.
Still information. And I love this call coming through from the Monarchs. Just slow roll your way, get some information. Sly Fox, she threw some shots. Anything connected, she is top luggage. Static more than aware of it, waiting for the push to come through. What are you just waiting for that pick, Brody, and then they'll probably push towards one of these sites and commit.
Yeah, First Blood going down. Sly Fox, she will fall. Now enough to get the bomb down just yet. But Oculus going to trade things out. Raw will fall in the middle of the map. And now the bomb not quite so confident in getting this one down, as Old Dominion do not have mid-map control on Cherrybo. She is slowly but surely making her way across towards the help desk. Her utility being thrown out. It will be caught by a trophy system, so she might have to just do this. A good old gunfight. 25 seconds left. She doesn't actually need to do anything in this situation here. Just wait for Old Dominion to make the first move, and the shots will be there. A little bit of premature. Not really many of them, not any of them, to be fair, in fact, connecting at all on towards Static. Love now, not just for a 1, but for a 2. The bomb will go down, and Setzi finds themselves in a 1 versus 3 situation. You could do this, but you just got to hurry up and kind of catch some players off guard, and it's just not to be in that situation. Unfortunate there that Cherrybo wasn't able to make the best of the situation she was in.
Yeah, Monarchs going to be able to answer back with 2 rounds of their own after losing the initial 2 to the Bees. And when you're Cherrybo in that position, right, I mean, you got to give her the benefit of the doubt, sure, but you have to exemplify some semblance of trigger discipline. Just because one player pushes over towards the bomb, the clock is very much so on your side. You should always expect that that second player, especially with the way that the numbers were, Brody, that there was going to be another player inside of the bar, inside of P4. And that was absolutely the case as Love finds that kill, snaps for the second. Good read on their part. Got back to the drawing board, looking like an A execute.
Volley utility being thrown out towards the bedroom side. It's enough to get Setsi into a powerful position, and it doesn't matter. I mean, if his role in this situation was to remove DJ, dethrone him from the bedroom. Now he doesn't need to do that as they have bedroom control. They've got bomb control as well. Oculus will get it down in a stretch plant position. You can watch that from a number of different places. And Old Dominion now need to retake. First blood, pretty good for the retake here. Static takes down Oculus, but you still got to deal with Cherrybow towards the help desk. Love. Check this one. I think he's just seen Cherrybow in that position, and there you go. The first blood again now through. Setsi and Slyfox now the ones left alive. Can Slyfox do anything? No, she can't. Setsi now a 1 versus 3. They are in that powerful position towards bedroom side. There are a lot of places that you can watch the bomb from. That nade will connect, so might be able to stop the bomb diffuser, and could not get it done. Static with enough time. He's got the coverage of Old Dominion in this situation, and that is a great retake.
Oh, it's a fantastic retake. I mean, you want to talk about where it all starts. It mostly just playing for the retake altogether. I mean, even with the numbers that they did have, Brody, all of ODU allowed the bomb to go down, and then they started to systematically dissect the map by making sure that they clear away lobby, getting in the backside of P4, clearing spa. All of these are big focal points for, as you say, the bomb could be planted for. And then once they knew that Setsi was going to be inside of top lights, top bedroom, whatever it may have you, the Semtex might have connected. EOD keeps that player alive. And then the gunshots, even if you were able to get that kill off of the bomb diffuser, it's going to be a secondary player to be able to hop onto it with ample time. Now we got another offensive round. ODU off 3 in a row.
It's just been a great bounce back from ODU. I kind of feel like I might have podcast to curse these guys, to be honest, saying that SCAD at the start that they did. But I'm so used to doing that. But regardless, SCAD still in with a chance of bouncing back. A lot to do here for Oculus, and he does exactly that. 2 kills there for Oculus, 2 massive kills as well, and gets away with his life. Still finds himself right in the Hornet's nest here. Trust me, the Hornet's much more powerful than the Bee. Old Dominion, still technically speaking, in a 2 versus 1 over towards this kitchen.
Oh, Oculus. Yeah, good shots. Damage is going to be good enough. That'll keep everybody honest. And, well, Cherrybow, she comes through, helps out their teammate, forces out Raw's hand. 1v3. Not to be the entire ace for the round. Raw snaps onto Cherrybow, stood no chance. 28 seconds remaining. The A-bomb site is more than open. The only information that Raw is lacking is where Slyfox's last known position was. She is quickly maneuvering towards top bedroom. Raw's dead silence, not running out yet, but now it does.
Has he been hurt? Has he been hurt? Yes, he has. What a play from Slyfox. I thought the dead silence might have been enough there to get him into that situation, but no, not good. And SCAD Esports, Oculus does so much in that round. That first 2-piece completely dismantles that opening push from Old Dominion, and while a 1 versus 3 was possible, Andy, just not going to happen here as these players are going to try and waste some time for the dead silence to come through.
Yep. That's exactly going to be the case, and you're right to point out Oculus, again, who is the sole defender of the B-bomb site in what is SCAD Esports defense. They haven't had to switch up too much. I mean, you get 1 player top luggage, 1 bedroom, you get the 1 lurking player over by couches in the atrium, but Oculus has always been that guy for SCAD Esports defensively that is always playing in and around kitchen, closer towards the pantry, and is just conveying and playing off the information. Somehow converts a double chow into a double kill, and then just lays prone all the way in towards the back of the kitchen area, just outside the back door, and just waits for the next chow to come through, finds the 3rd in the round, and it was all dusted from there on after. ODU, probably not going to want to go back to B, but it looks like SCAD Esports might be trying their hand. Oculus has the bomb. I don't know, an island over here in Double Arches.
Still, SCAD Esports here on the offensive side. They want to get map control. Again, if we talk about bedroom control being a really important part of any offensive effort, they've once again managed to get Setsi inside. The problem is they've got no action whatsoever off the back of that. And as Oculus just sits here and waits inside double arches, they will get stun checked by 1. And Oculus actually going to manage to win the gunfight. Might get a chance at a regen here, but not quick enough to get out towards the trade. So Static will be able to trade him out. And now 3 versus 3 we go. And the problem, of course, being Oculus was the bomb carrier, so 40 seconds on the clock now for SCAD to recover it.
And if you're Setsi, you don't really want to give up the position that you've been able to piece together for yourself. Slyfox, she pops that silence and moves 6 meters. Oh, that is the worst timing. We've all been there. Throwing out a stun. Love for the chow. Takes Slyfox down. 2v3.
That's tough. That is really tough. And now 20 seconds on the clock here for SCAD Esports to do something in this situation. Again, the fact that that bomb is down and double arches will loom over them. No dead silence really for either of these players to work with. Setsy's just going to have to try and go slowly at this one, and Static, well, absolutely calls his bluff. 7 seconds left. Cherryboat, she's taking shots out, just going to hide behind the desk here. No point giving anything away for free to ODU, but this round is donezo. And again, that just dropping the bomb down in that position is just so detrimental to the roster.
Yeah, it's like I said, I mean, the offensive rollout, you're essentially splitting the map. Nobody was looking past or inside of Jules towards the push for Restaurant, but I mean, even more so than that, that's like the go for broke play as an offensive team here on Hotel, that if you put your bomb carrier on an island, you have to have somebody there to pick up that trade. So long as Oculus is in a tradable position with somebody, you can recover that bomb and then continue on the rotation, maybe over towards the A bomb site, and maybe even more so continue on to commit over towards B. It all just completely crumbles off of SCAD's planning in that early endeavors. And yeah, here we go. The Monarchs for an offensive attempt, not going towards B again.
Yeah, very aggressive coming out here from Old Dominion, but unfortunately the first blood doesn't go their way. This has to be a trade coming through from Raw, and it will be elsewhere. The J towards the middle of the map takes down Oculus, and now a 2 versus 3 for SCAD. All of this presence, all of this pressure from SCAD is effectively reliant on bedroom control, and J, well, he's on absolutely none of Sly Fox's presence inside that bedroom. They will go down, and it's Cherrybow once again. She's in the exact same position she was a few rounds prior. Wants to try and stop the bomb going down, but stun check will be good from Raw, and this bomb's going down regardless of what she wants.
How do you do this if you are now Cherrybow? Because you've already utilized that silence. Players playing the head glitch, the secondary over on D2. That'll be more than enough coverage. The Monarchs continuing on with their winning ways, win another 2 rounds in a row and put themselves up on map point. And it's like you said, I mean, for ODU, for their offensive attempt, these players are playing in positions to where the trades are going to be coming through. It just starts off 2 for 1 when the dust had settled. And everybody else for SCAD Esports, the 2 players that were alive, were effectively on islands of one another. One over by the atrium, the next bottom bed, like you saw there from Cherrybow. It's not exactly an easy feat to be able to stop that bomb plant from coming through when you lack the utility.
Old Dominion Esports now just 1 round away from going 2-0 up in the series. The Search and Destroy was looking pretty good from the outset from SCAD Esports, and the last 6 has not looked so good. First blood will go SCAD Esports' way, at the very least. Cherrybow going to be responsible for that one. It is a good look towards B, but you've got to get past Static, and this time Static is not going to fall foul to Oculus. We'll pick up 1, repositioning towards the connector side, and SCAD don't seem confident enough just yet. They still need to make sure that the presence in behind is dealt with. Cherrybow goes to check it and will be taken down. Now Setsy up to bat to do exactly that, able to take down Static. So Setsy's still playing their life here. 45 seconds on the clock.
Numbers even. The biggest player that's going to be a problem is 7. That's Love. I don't know, over by double arches, but I mean, if you're Oculus, you have so much to clear. That silence hasn't been accrued yet. And DJ is starting to move around. He might have been able to pick up a secondary weapon, but he's going to jump. The Chow is out. It's a Vaznev. Oculus gets cut down. Now Setsy has to go.
Setsy able to get 1, actually. And now, to be fair, this player, I mean, Love is effectively a Narnia comparatively to this bomb going down. So Setsy is going to pull this one through, and there's that streak coming through from Love. Of course, it's not going to penetrate the kitchen. And Setsy now activating dead silence here, wants to reposition to catch Love off guard, but I think just a little bit too optimistic about where that player is located. Love going to give him the old teabag, as that round will be done and dusted, as will this Search and Destroy. The information, I think, on the back of that cruise was good.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how to use utility 101. Again, the cruise missile. As much as we would love all of our hard-earned kill streaks to be able to get all the kills in the world, the cruise missile gets you information first and foremost, and that's exactly what you needed in that situation, to be able to see where the post plant was located at. It was just kind of a whittle down coming through for ODU defensively to stop SCAD Esports committing over towards the kitchen bomb site inside of B, just playing in these very standard positions, just making sure that they don't get control over by rugs, making sure that they don't get all the way through the atrium. Once you already fully clear away all of the bar, which was Love on the flank, you know that they're all essentially going to be trapped over inside of the restaurant, if not inside of pantry. Once you get that 1 kill onto the bomb carrier, it's all but aces from there on out, that then you're calling for Setsy to almost do the damn near impossible to be able to clutch up that round, to be able to snap onto everybody that they see in their way.
Yeah, it was just such a good Search and Destroy from the outside. But these first 2 rounds are pretty good from SCAD, right? And again, it was kind of like, I think, round number 1, when they kind of dethroned Old Dominion by the connector side, I was like, hang on, this Search and Destroy might be pretty good for SCAD Esports. But those back 7 rounds off the back of that were just not good whatsoever. Adaptation after adaptation from Old Dominion, and a couple of unforced errors just really did characterize what was a not so great second half of the Search and Destroy for SCAD Esports. As, again, they now lose out and 2-0 down in this series, Andy. That was a map they really needed to win.
Oh, absolutely, because now you're staring down the barrel of what potentially could be a 3-0 for SCAD. And it's just crazy because they just got done 3-0ing Auburn just in the previous round to this one. It just really goes to show you just, I suppose, how much ODU were able to win off of their 0-3 loss versus FGC. But even more so than that, you got to dig deep. This is where composure is either really shown or it's completely lost, because to reverse sweep in any best of 5 series, I don't care what level of Call of Duty you're talking about, it is no easy feat.
It's not easy at all. You know, I talked about it even coming into the map. We talked about kind of the mental reset mentality you have to kind of be like, you know, we're down 0-1. We can come back even if that first map wasn't so kind to us. And to be fair, to a certain extent, in the beginning of this Search and Destroy, they're able to do that. But when all hope is crushed, when all your hopes are dashed at the end of that Search and Destroy, how do you bounce back from that? Here's a look at kind of the stats at the end of the game, and we can see kind of what went right, what went wrong, really, for SCAD Esports. Sly Fox maybe not having the best game at 2-8. Oculus did what they could at 9-6. On the other hand, though, good performance. Love at 11-3. Jay also at 8.
Yeah, I mean, 9-6 for Oculus. The majority of all those kills were coming through from pantry pushes that were coming through from ODU when they try to push over towards B. What was like 2 offensive rounds, but even more so than that, I think that if you come back and you look at this, if you are the Bees, whether it's continuing on through the Division 2 qualifier or even through the open bracket or the open division, it's the reaction timing. It was that much better for ODU. Every single bit of information that the Monarchs were able to collect for themselves, you saw it on the mini-map. They were all just snapping. The arrows always turning to make sure that they were trying to reposition themselves to help out their teammates at a moment's notice. Just a little bit too late out of the hive that are the Bees.
Yeah, well, we're about to ask for our second reverse sweep of the day, or we're asking for the second time for a reverse sweep for the second time today, because that didn't happen on the first go of things. USNA couldn't produce in the first match of the day. Can SCAD make it happen here in the second? We'll find out after the break. Everybody, welcome back here to CCL 2023 for the second qualifiers. We're 2 maps deep into the series between Old Dominion Esports and SCAD Esports. And I mean, judging by how today has gone so far, we had 3-0 in the first series. I think we might well have another 3-0 in our hands, given how the first couple of maps have gone.
Considering how the first map went, Brody, you're absolutely right to say that this might end up being a 3-0, because SCAD Esports, much like the Search and Destroy, they started off what was essentially the first quarter of the game looking all right. But then ODU picked it up, and they just did not relent. Into hotel control we go. Offense first for SCAD Esports. This map mode combination, out of the 3 control maps that we have, you see more offensive conversions more often than not. But when you get a 2-for-1 start, ODU can dictate the pace from here.
Yeah, and one of the conversation points we always kind of have here with hotel control is which point do you go for first? Do you want to get the harder point out the way, or do you want to get kind of the easier point out the way just to get the extra 60 seconds on the clock? Because that's what you get when you get a point capture through. Those are the questions you're going to be facing on the offensive side. So far for SCAD Esports, they haven't really made much progression whatsoever on either of the points. And here comes SCAD for a good offensive try on towards B. Unfortunately for them, though, they've mostly been cut down. Only Sly Fox will remain. And Raw towards the cut here, just making sure that she cannot cross that 50-yard line. Raw with the first couple of shots in to get that kill. It's going to be Static to finish things off, and another one close by. SCAD Esports now going to have to turn towards A if they want to get anything going.
You couldn't have asked for a better start, because that start just continued on. 25 seconds now remaining, and ODU have not lost more than 3 lives. 27 points up against 19. Love has head glitches on the seats to be playing with, and he is just tearing everybody to pieces. Still his first life, by the way. Has 4 in a row. So much more to do. Setsy's just diving and ducking in between pantry. And my goodness, Love cannot be traded. Someone take this man down. Thank you, Setsy.
Yeah, finally, someone does. 4.4 seconds on the clock. Now I've got to do a Static in the back line as well. He was also streaking out. Would you believe it? It's Old Dominion that we saw from map number 1. This is the 3rd play in a row, starting to streak out, looking for number 5. He'll get it. Look for number 6, and Static is just decimating the opposition. Number 6, Cherry Bow, the last remaining player. Can she save the day for SCAD Esports? No. Old Dominion. We were talking about this being the easiest map to get an offensive victory on. Old Dominion are like, yeah, we don't care. We're just going to have everybody streak out here and stop you from letting even one take a progression.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too. You were so close to being able to lock down that first segment of progression, but even more so than that, it just goes to show you just how adept Love is at just staying alive, just buying so much time for Static to be able to make that push happen all the way through Secret. Comes in from behind, finds those into a third. These are things that you cannot allow to have happen, especially when you have players that are going to be in a good position to be able to get those trades. Now you need to have a similar answer if you are SCAD Esports with your defense.
SCAD Esports need to have a strong defensive side here. Again, we can come back to the conversation point about what teams on the offensive side are going to do in terms of making their first move towards one of the control zones. Old Dominion, if targeting B, looking for the kill will be DJ, only able to get one before being traded out by Slyfox. Again, lots to do over towards the bar side. Oculus now with the repositioning through the bedroom, trying regain map control. And SCAD have successfully done that, to be fair. But again, the Old Dominion side spawning up towards kitchen, moving back towards A. They go. Charibo, can she do anything over here? Looking for at least 2 more kills. Got a lot to do on a lonesome. Players coming through rugs. Fortunately for Old Dominion, will be able to take her down. And now A progression starting to come through.
Clock has been stopped. 47 seconds. Setsi needs to be able to cut down these reinforcements. Probably doesn't know that Static is still lurking inside of couches, but the way that the Bees are setting themselves up here, Brody, it looks like they're completely chalking A. Don't want to lose more lives. That's the right call. You're already down by 2. So you need to set yourself up over for a B zone defense. The best way to do it is what SCAD are starting to put themselves in 4. Oculus is able to find one. He's going to be playing in around that upper catwalk area. Now drops down to Jacuzzi, but it's all about bedroom control from here on after.
Yeah, we're all taking some shots, wants to try and play their life here while Static comes and plays distraction. Can Raw get anything out of that in the middle of the map? Yes, they can, actually. Oculus is caught off guard. Again, Static doing a lot there to try and pull some smoke and mirrors away. And for Old Dominion, the flipping of the map that we are kind of not necessarily used to seeing here as they're on the bar side. They've got to be careful of players come off the spawn, though, is Oculus, the player they did manage to take down, will look to do some damage and already put some shots in towards Raw. Should be good to finish that kill, and yes, they will be. Love goes down as well, and all of this results into Jay being the last one left alive on this offensive effort from Old Dominion. They get taken down, so that kind of push from A to B doesn't work out for Old Dominion.
Yeah, and now you just go back and you reset yourself in and around bedroom. You flip the life lead as well. Now you lead by 3 if you are the Bees. It's just going to be straight gunfights that you're going to be looking for. Are you counting numbers? Are you looking for names? Static is going to push up over by Info. Has some help from Love. Takes down Slyfox. She was playing the God Head Glitch. Now you got to turn your attention towards bottom bed. You already took down Oculus. Next is Setsi. He's able to turn it into 2. The trade needs to come in, but the reinforcements for the Bees have arrived.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job at the moment, SCAD Esports, of picking up 2 pieces, enough to bat Old Dominion away. That is their second unsuccessful effort over towards B. And the thing is, because every single player goes down with no map control whatsoever, they go sent back to all the way towards the back of the map here. They're relying on one last hurrah, one last effort, and a lot of it will come down to split pushes. One through the backside, one through the middle, and one through bottom bedroom as well, towards that backline. Raw, able to pick up one, looking for the shots towards bedroom side, enough for the team shots from Static as well to take down Terribo, and now 2 players on the point. Second tip aggression, potentially about to come through here. Shots going in towards Setsi. Reload having to come through from Raw, and unfortunately for him, that is not enough, but it's okay because Static and Love now are in for yet another 2. Charibo, can she save the day? She's the only one that could do something in the situation. She will fall, and Old Dominion, enough should be here now for them to capture the point. What a massive victory for them.
Back-to-back clutch situations for Charibo to try to keep their team in the endeavors of at least a round, but it's just the reinforcements that come through. I mean, you can even see here in the final kill with the X-ray itself. When you get control over by that B zone, the reinforcements for SCAD are spawning all the way inside of Jules, where the reinforcements comparatively for the Monarchs are spawning parallel towards that B zone. So they're going to be able to get top luggage control, top bedroom very, very quickly. That's why we always try to put a major focus onto maintaining that position. You are on defense here on Hotel Control. Reverse sweep and control, not exactly the easiest nor hardest things to do, but you need this opening ripoff to be statically different than what happened in the first go of things.
Yeah, might well be so. Static looking forward here at 16-5. That first kill will be pretty good for him. And again, it kind of leaves SCAD Esports high and dry as Raw on the flank will take down Setsi. Cherryboat, now the last one left alive on the point. And, well, she has and finally dealt with Oculus was actually the last one left alive on the point, and they will be dealt with. So SCAD Esports going to have to default towards A. They don't really have much resistance to deal with here. The closest player will be Love on a potential flank, and Love does take down Oculus, but again, it's just not enough to do anything about the situation. And now you're faced with that decision making that we always come to here. How much do you actually want to put into towards this defensive effort, for Old Dominion Esports? And while they send one player towards Connector, and actually Raw picks up two. Love with another one as well. What more, it might have felt like a lost cause, might not be so anymore, but it's all good because Slyfox will finish things off on A.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to add 60 seconds onto the board, but I mean, you just saw that three-piece that came through in a team effort for ODU. The life lead, 26 plays up against 17, and they are not done. The Monarchs are still dictating the pace through the middle of the map, add extra time on towards the board. That just gives ODU a potential another win condition to be able to close out this round via kills, rather than just exhausting the clock. We'll have to see how it all plays out because Cherrybo is cleaning out top bedroom. That's the last defender that was in this position, and Setsy's going to get on the zone to stall the clock.
Yeah, Static down low though. Static still a problem as ever. Yet another two-piece that might well have saved the day for Old Dominion Esports. Make it 3. Why don't you? Slyfox taking shots from behind. Static should be able to finish off that gunfight, and they will be. So SCAD Esports again, still spawning relatively close towards this point, but that life differential is just the problem that's looming over them. A 9 versus 23 with Static on 5 in a row. He will overlap his streak, a cruise missile that will provide a get-out-of-jail-free card. I don't even know if they'll need it at this point out here. 6 versus 22, and Static is just roaming. This map is his at the moment.
It absolutely is. 24 and 6 on another spree. Has that cruise missile to play with if he wants it. Love locking things down through double arches. That's the only information that you truly do need. Now you need to hold on to every single respawn as if it is your last, because it just might be here in the lower bracket for Division 2 qualifiers, but you find 2 kills in a row. Static just has to hold the line. He is top bedroom, but SCAD Esports are slowly maneuvering their way through the middle of the map.
Yeah, this needs to be perfect. That's the problem. You can't lose a single player. Static is just getting a little bit cocky with it. Pulls out the knife for the kill versus Cherrybo. Oculus will be able to trade things out, but again, you're down your final set of respawns. 3 lives remaining. Setsy will not come off the respawn point. Now, neither will another one. Slyfox will be down. Oculus, Cherrybo, what do you got to try and stop this from being a 3-0 sleep? It's a 1 versus 16. Mate, if Cherrybo pulls this off, I swear I'm going to run around the street doing some wild, wacky stuff, because that 1 versus 16, just not really possible, not really plausible in that situation. Old Dominion come out 3-0 this series.
That's 3 rounds in a row that Cherrybo is stuck in the clutch situation. But again, it always comes down to the opening breaks for ODU and just how adept they are to be able to hit the ground running and finding all of the kills very quickly, trade soon after. Not to mention how ODU, even through the mid-round adjustments, recognize, okay, we lost 3 lives. They're going to get on the A zone. Let's just chalk it up. Let's play for some exits rather than just trying to full flood in towards the A zone. And to be fair, they probably could have stopped the A zone conversion. But that was a really disciplined play that was represented by the Monarchs in that final round to allow the 60 seconds to come through and then convert that into further map positioning for the Monarchs. That is exactly what you want to see for them to be able to decisively win a matchup here in a lower round match when qualification is just right around the corner.
Yeah, look, things aren't over again for SCAD Esports. You know, they've still got the open divisions, but yeah, that was a big game from Old Dominion Esports. Even when it really felt like they might be at danger. You know, we had just so many crazy plays coming through. I mean, in that first round, there were just successive streaks coming through from Raw, Love, and Static. All of them basically built up to stop SCAD from getting those ticks of progression through. And just so many clutch plays like that have really characterized this series, you have to feel, for Old Dominion Esports, where SCAD Esports, it might have felt like at some points they had an opportunity to come in towards the game, to have something to say, and immediately there is just a response in kind from Old Dominion Esports. Really well played from the roster. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing what they're able to do forward in this bracket.
This was the only point in time, it was a defensive round for SCAD, that they had a life lead. That again just continues to constantly talk about how good ODU were in their openings and through the mid-round to maintain presence where it matters most. And then this guy again, Static, just, he was everywhere. It's funny that you say, like, he's kind of going a little bit loose when he drops down, he finds the first with the knife. I'm pretty sure he just ran out of bullets and he didn't find more off of the guns on the ground. So the only thing he had was the knife. So just more insane scenes coming through from Static in the respawns. It was a 3-0 in the control, a 3-0 in the series, a decisive one at that. I would say that the Bees definitely had a fair shout when it came down to the Hotel Search and Destroy. But when you win 4 rounds in a row, the way that ODU were able to get themselves going, or 3 rounds in a row, excuse me, their adaptations seem to be at an all-time high.
Yeah, here's a look back at that 3-0 then for ODU. It was an indomitable series, just like what we saw from Army West Point earlier on today. That hard point, I think, really was just kind of accentuating what we would come to expect for ODU for this series. A 250-58, one of the most indomitable Fortress hard points I've had a chance to cast over so far in 2023. Of course, Hotel Search and Destroy, a little bit more life out of SCAD Esports there, but not enough to topple Old Dominion. And then finally a 3-0 in Hotel Control. A 3-0 overall in the series, and the Old Dominion, they look pretty good at the moment.
Definitely seen worse, Brody. The Monarchs roster of ODU got to be feeling pretty darn good about themselves, because it's not just one player. It wasn't just Static that was making all these plays happen. Again, I feel like I said the same thing about Colo with Army West Point. You always have to have an AR that's going to be right there to back things up. Love is that guy to always make sure that secondary assistance from an AR's reach away is why Static's play with the Vaznev 9K is so potent.
Yeah, all you need is love. That's the message we're sending out to the fans at home tonight, as ODU 3-0 over SCAD Esports. They are moving on in the lower bracket, staying alive. The hopes of qualifying for Division 2, staying alive with that as well. Before we turn into a break, though, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors for today, Fandom, and of course, America's Navy. The Navy is the esteemed smart force that pushes the boundaries of what is possible. It is prestigious, strategic, innovative, and nurturing. The Navy has 51 major bases in the continental United States and Hawaii, as well as various places all around the globe. No other military service provides greater opportunities to travel the country and world, and that's why we're telling you to go check out America's Navy. So shout out to them and Fandom for supporting CCL throughout the 2023 season. But that's too much is down today. Old Dominion with a 3-0 versus SCAD Esports, and of course Army West Point. We saw them moving on further into the bracket earlier on today. That just leaves one match remaining for today's broadcast as we look to put more teams in Division 2. Stay tuned after this break for more CCL.